Jesus to his heart and said, "My God, my everything." And he said, "Jesus, I love you." And then they became furious. And the other younger priests started kissing Jesus into the hands of the crucifix. And the communist soldiers were frustrated. They poured gasoline on them and they burned them alive. These guys, American guys, are watching this with their own eyes. They were so frightened and they thought, "We are hallucinating." They run into the church. In that very moment, Father Yozo is in the church and he's speaking about this experience. He's speaking about this event because we had eyewitnesses to that. Local people who were hiding close to the cave were able to see everything. And then Michael, who spoke here, he started hearing a voice, and the voice clearly said to him, "I want you to become my priest." He thought, "I'm crazy." The voice continued, "I want you to become my priest." So he was fighting this voice for nearly half an hour. And then when the healing service started in the church, Father Yozo started to bless the woman who came with him, the one in the wheelchair. And then the voice says to him, "Will you become my priest if I heal this woman?" And Michael didn't say anything. And then the woman starts getting up from the wheelchair, pulling out everything, and she was like normal, walking. Everyone was starting to cry and say, "Praise be Jesus," like the whole church. And Michael said, "Yeah, if this woman starts running around the church and if she starts singing, I will believe and I will become a priest." It's exactly what she started doing. And then he came to Father Yozo and he started crying and he said the entire experience to Father Yozo. He returned home and he said, "I was clear from drugs, completely 100% clear." He had instant conversion and instant healing. He was ordained and he became a Catholic priest. And in 2008, he spoke here as a Catholic priest. The miracle goes on. In that very year, during the youth festival, I was translating youth festival and I remember his testimony and even something that happened that very night. There were two boys who came from Croatia who were also drug addicts, and one of their friends brought them to Medjugorje for the youth festival, saying to them it's going to be just party and girls and drugs, not knowing it was only like a prayer event. And these guys just wandered around the church, drank beer, took drugs, and one of them, when Father Michael was giving a testimony, was all the way back at the risen Lord statue, and he heard exactly the same voice. "I want you to become my priest." And he got afraid. And then he moved to his house and he locked the windows and doors and he said, "I'm not coming back to the church ground again." But the voice was after him, even in the hotel, all the time. And when he came, he was all the way at the back. So you see where those people are walking, it's pretty far. And Holy Mass was here. And because of the size of Father Michael, he was clearly able to see Father Michael. So he said to God, "God, if this is you talking, I'm going to ask you something. Now, when the Holy Communion starts, I want Father Michael to take the hosts and not to give hosts to anyone around the church, to pass all these people and to come in front of me first." And he was all the way back behind the risen Lord's statue. That's exactly what happened. And then he fell and started crying. He had his also healing and conversion, and the other friend also became a priest. The miracle goes on because they were coming from a diocese that was long ago, in 2008. And they were coming from a diocese where bishop, Croatian bishop, was a friend of our bishop at that time, who was not very fond of Medjugorje. So he was very much against Medjugorje. And these two boys knew that. So they didn't say anything to their bishop, but when their ordination happened, many years afterwards, the bishop set ordination date on the anniversary date of Medjugorje. And for them it was a sign. And then they said to the bishop about their experience. And the bishop had complete new conversion. And he started even the youth festival in his diocese. And these two young men were first priesthood vocations after 85 years in that town. Isn't that amazing? And it started with the blood of the martyrs. So these Franciscan martyrs, along with many other victims here in our country, have prepared the grounds for the future events. And I'm 1,000,000% sure that if it wasn't for the big persecution, if it wasn't for such suffering, if it wasn't for so much blood, we wouldn't have what we have today. Padre Joseph said, he was born in 1944, and he said that the largest number of the vocations happened exactly after World War II, because more communists were suppressing people and more they were after them, more young people wanted to become priests. It was just contagious. They had so many that they had to send them in the seminaries around the world, in Europe, in Germany, in Italy, in Switzerland. Today, our province here, Herzegovinian province, has the largest number of vocations in the whole world. The number of the people and the number of vocations. Every single year, at least 10 young boys enter novice for the Franciscans in Mostar. And there are many other who are becoming also diocesan priests. Some of them are going to become Carmelites and entering different orders, but there are so many. And this is something that doesn't happen anymore. And a lady is doing that because she's preparing Medjugorje for the triumph of her Immaculate Heart. And she said that only with priests we would be able to come to the triumph of Our Lady's Heart. So these are some of the things that I just wanted to share with you to understand that it's really special time. And that people here in our country were not afraid even to give their own blood, to be killed. Jesus was not to be forsaken. The faith and rosary and prayer were above everything to them. And we live in crazy time. And maybe, God knows what will happen in the future. Maybe you will not have churches soon anymore. It's progressing that way, am I right? Maybe there will not be enough priests. Maybe one priest will have to travel for 4 hours to celebrate one mass in one town and then 4 hours back. Or we would have to travel 5 hours. I already know people in England who have, exactly. Which is very, very sad. And that's why when you're here, when you can sit here in these pews, knowing that there are thousands of people around you who all came for the same purpose, who are praying in their own languages, and this is where you get to know how to fall in love with Jesus. This is where you are falling in love with the prayer of the Rosary. Tonight, veneration of the Holy Cross, they will put up a beautiful big crucifix here. And you can be in front of the altar. And a lady said, "Dear children, meditate and reflect on the wounds of my son Jesus, so his wounds may heal the wounds of your heart." That is so important. And if you think that you don't have wounds, then you definitely know that you have many wounds. That's my experience. Usually people who are saying, "I don't have any wounds," "Oh, nobody hurt me, I don't have anything to forgive anyone." Usually those people have the most to forgive someone. And this is so important that we are healed spiritually, so we will be able to go home empowered, regardless of our age, regardless of where we come from, what is our background. There is something. And just ask Jesus to show you that. Because He's the center, and He wants to heal you, and He wants to make witnesses out of you. At least we can witness to our families back home, or even to the people who are around us. And if that doesn't go, if they don't want to listen, and you go home and you realize they don't want to listen, it's okay. You still have prayer to do for them. That's what we're supposed to do. So do you have any questions? Is there anything particular that you would like to ask?